Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. How many times has a person assumed to know another individual until that person is tested? The person whom you had assumed was generous, brave, and wise turns out to be lowly, selfish, cowardly, miser. And on the flip side, how many times have our eyes looked beyond certain people whose voices were not particularly heard, whose deeds were not really spectacular, only then to be awestruck by them during testing times when they exhibit this unfettered generosity, lion-like bravery, mountain-like steadfastness. Broadly speaking, there are four distinct categories of people when it comes to times of ease and hardship. And which of the four do you fit in? Measure yourself against these four headings. The first category of humanity, those who turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during times of ease, ignore Him during times of difficulty. And speaking about this category of people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ. There are some people who worship Allah Almighty upon an edge. فَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ اطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ. If he is touched by good, he is reassured by it. وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ فِتْنَةٌ انْقَلَبَ عَلَى وَجْهِهِ خَسِرَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةَ. But if, on the other hand, he is struck by a trial, he turns on his feet, meaning he turns to disbelief, and he loses this world and the hereafter, and that is the clearest loss. So for this category of people, their commitment to Islam only lasts as far as they live a life of well-being and prosperity, good reputation. Should a challenge interrupt their routine, they are the quickest to drop it all, and they will turn towards anything for relief, whether it's an ex-partner, whether it's pornography, drugs, abandonment of salah, anything but Allah. In fact, the very reason for revelation of the verse that I just quoted to you is a very telling one. A Jewish man came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said to him, "Udu'u Allah rabbaka an yarzuqani malan wa ibilan wa khaylan wa waladan hatta umina bik." Please call upon your Lord to give me wealth, camels, horses, children, and I will believe in you. And so the Prophet ﷺ did just that, and Allah granted this man his requests, and he embraced Islam. Afterwards, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wished to test him. So these blessings were taken away from him soon after, and guess what? The man left Islam. So Allah revealed the verse that you just heard, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ. There are some people who worship Allah upon an edge. And Abdullah ibn Abbas, he also said that there were some people who would arrive at the city of Medina. If their wives gave birth to children, their camels also produced calves, they would say, this is a righteous religion. هذا دين صالح. If, however, their wives failed to reproduce and their camels didn't produce calves, they would say, هذا دين سوء. This is an evil religion. So this category of people, those who turn to Allah during times of ease and they ignore Him during times of hardship, it's a common category in humanity. And it includes, for example, a spouse who remains faithful so long as their spouse is as well faithful. Should unfaithfulness, however, appear, they take the very first opportunity to show vengeance by doing the same to make them get a feel of what they felt. All along, therefore, it turns out that their chastity was not for Allah, it was conditional upon a worldly gain. So when that worldly gain disappeared, they let themselves go. A second example, a sister of ours whose hijab is pristine, whose salah is on time, so long as her marital life is in place. Should her marriage, however, end in divorce, her religious life is cast aside, salah is dismissed, hijab becomes no more. So all of it was conditional on her marriage. It wasn't for Allah. A third example is a Muslim, revert or otherwise, whose commitment to Islam is on point, so long as parents, friends, community don't turn against them. Should that happen, however, they show no hesitation in shelving Islam, inwardly and outwardly. It goes. So the religion of this category of people is conditional. Steadfastness upon Islam as long as they enjoy a relatively problem-free life. Any obstacle, however, along the way sees them opting out of the religion or parts of it in no time. So this is the first category of humanity. Does it fit us, dear brother, dear sister? Those who turn to Allah during times of ease and they ignore Him, turn their backs on Him during times of difficulty. Then you have the second category. Those who turn to Allah during times of difficulty and they ignore Him during times of ease. It's the opposite of the first. This group of people has arguably received the most attention from the Quran. For them, so long as they are fit, well, prosperous, problem-free, Allah does not appear in their conversations and decisions or priorities. It takes a seismic adversity to send them back to Allah in desperation. Allah said about these people, وَإِذَا مَسَّ الْإِنسَانَ الضُّرُّ دَعَانَا لِجَنْبِهِ أَوْ قَاعِدًا أَوْ قَائِمًا. When adversity touches a human being, he prays to us, reclining on his side, or sitting, or standing, always asking Allah for relief. فَلَمَّا كَشَفْنَا عَنْهُ ضُرَّهُ مَرَّ كَأَن لَّمْ يَدْعُنَا إِلَى ضُرٍّ مَسَّهُ. But when we relieve him from his adversity, he goes away as though he had never called on us for trouble that had afflicted him. Knowing Allah during times of hardship, but not knowing Him during times of ease. And Allah said about them, وَإِذَا أَنْعَمْنَا عَلَى الْإِنسَانِ أَعْرَضَ وَنَأَى بِجَانِبِهِ وَإِذَا مَسَّهُ الشَّرُّ فَذُو دُعَاءٍ عَرِيضٍ. When we provide comfort for the human being, he withdraws and distances himself. But when adversity befalls him, he starts lengthy prayers. So when the situation is dire, an upcoming exam, a plummeting investment, crumbling relationship, worrying medical diagnosis, fear of being exposed of something, this category of people will rediscover Allah. But guess what? When that dark cloud begins to pass and safety and relief erase fear and grief, their previously intense dua, their previously punctual salah, their previous distance from sins begins to bid them farewell. It all changes. Arrogance of this category of people and their utter ingratitude to their Lord is really beyond measure. The most famous example of this is the Pharaoh of Egypt, who spent a lifetime crushing his people and calling them to the deification of himself. But guess what? During his hour of need, as he drowned, he turned to Allah. And in desperation he said, آمنت أنه لا إله إلا الذي آمنت به بنو إسرائيل وأنا من المسلمين. I believe that there is no God except the one that the children of Israel believe in, and I am amongst those who submit. SubhanAllah, the angel Jibreel heard this late plea of the Pharaoh. And Gabriel would descend, not as a savior, but to thrust the sea sand into his mouth, fearing that Allah's mercy would descend upon him. And it would not descend upon him. And the Pharaoh's pleas were rejected. And he was told, Al-an, now, وَقَدْ عَصَيْتَ قَبْلُ, when you rebelled before this, وَكُنْتَ مِنَ الْمُفْسِدِينَ, and you were from the mischief makers. فَالْيَوْمَ نُنَجِّيكَ بِبَدَنِكَ لِتَكُونَ لِمَنْ خَلْفَكَ آيَةً. Allah said, today we will preserve your corpse. We will preserve it so that you become a sign for those who come after you. وَإِنَّ كَثِيرًا مِنَ النَّاسِ عَنْ آيَاتِنَا لَغَافِلُونَ. And most people are heedless of our signs. That's the point. Allah sends signs, but people don't take heed. They don't realize them. They complain, I speak to God, but He doesn't answer me. No, He has been speaking to you, but you're not answering Him. He's been sending you signs. You're not seeing them. So Allah does not punish from the very first slip up. Chances are given. Reminders are sent, sins are covered, punishment is delayed. But you see, this category of people we're speaking about, nothing will snap them into realization and into tawbah, retreat of repentance, more than a devastating calamity. And that's why when a thief was presented to Umar who had stolen, and the proof was proven beyond doubt, and he was about to have his limb amputated. The thief screamed. He said, "Woe to me! I swear this is the first time I ever stole." Umar said to him, "Kadabta wa Rabbi Umar, I swear you speak a lie. You speak a lie. ما أسلم الله عبدا عند أول ذنب." Allah would never punish a person following his very first sin. Never. So shame on us, dear brothers and sisters, really for needing devastating events to bring us back to our senses. A major illness that deprives us from sleep, that forces us back to the prayer mat 5 times a day. Or some sort of crippling anxiety which forces us to accept the wrong of our alcohol or our drugs or our interest-based business. Honestly, shame on man for only discovering passionate dua and dhikr and Quran in the masjid, following threats of being exposed for some sort of illicit behavior. Shame on us for needing this to send us back to Allah. Shame on man for needing his wife, for example, to walk away from him for being unfaithful, which then forces him to realize the blessing that he had at home once upon a time. Shame on man for needing calamities to corner him into thanking Allah and forcing him to appreciate Allah's blessings. If you're feeling healthy, safe from harm, veiled from sin and shame at this moment, please take the hint. So remove yourself from this category of people that we're speaking about. And glorify Allah in all circumstances, not just when you're lost for options. So this is the second category we speak of. Those who turn to Allah during times of difficulty, but during times of ease, they ignore Him. Then you have the third category of humanity, and this is the worst of them all. Those who ignore Allah during both times of ease and hardship. There is no use. For this category of people, nothing brings about the remembrance of Allah. Prosperity, yeah, that's just luck. Adversity, it's misfortune. These people will give it any description as long as it does not involve Allah, good or bad. And speaking about them, the worst of the four, Allah Almighty said, وَإِذَا أَنْعَمْنَا عَلَى الْإِنسَانِ أَعْرَضَ وَنَأَى بِجَانِبِهِ وَإِذَا مَسَّهُ الشَّرُّ كَانَ يَئُوسًا. When we grant people our favors, they turn away, acting arrogantly. And when they are touched with evil, they lose all hope. So it's a lose-lose situation for them. And Allah Almighty said, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ خُلِقَ هَلُوعًا. Mankind were created anxious. إِذَا مَسَّهُ الشَّرُّ جَزُوعًا. When touched with evil, they're impatient. وَإِذَا مَسَّهُ الْخَيْرُ مَنُوعًا. And when they are touched with goodness, they withhold. Lose-lose. Nothing brings them back, goodness or hardship. Regardless of which way they are taken in life, their flame of Iman remains blown out. Their ears, their eyes, their hearts have been sealed. Even if every circumstance around them changes, they will not. Consider one of the recent atheist philosophers and thinkers and chief protagonists who lived their lives arguing a case against God and mocking those who do, a real anti-theist. And of course, towards the latter parts of his life, he was diagnosed with cancer. Some people thought that maybe this would cause a shift in his position, but he maintained his position of devout atheism until the very end, and he insisted that no evidence or argument has been presented which would change my mind, but I like surprises. And I think that's quite an accurate depiction of what this third category of people are all about. Quite heedless during times of ease, and equally heedless during times of difficulty. Then you have the fourth category of humanity. This is the finest of them all. They are those who turn to Allah during both times of difficulty and ease. They are the finest of human beings. They are the saints of Islam. They are the truest allies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they are clearly identifiable. And they share the same characteristics. Measure yourself against them to see, insha'Allah, whether you do fit them or God forbid you don't. The first sign is that they interpret every experience of life, both the happy ones and the miserable ones, as tests. It's a test. They recognize that the entire spectrum from extreme hardship to extreme ease and everything that's in between is a test, an examination from Allah. And they make sure to announce this at every particular experience of theirs in life. Take the example of Prophet Sulaiman, seeing the power that Allah Almighty had endowed him with, where jinn competed to serve him and delivered the thrones of kings to him and queens from continent to continent. Prophet Sulaiman, when realizing this, he proclaimed, هَذَا مِنْ فَضْلِ رَبِّي لِيَبْلُوَنِي أَأَشْكُرُ أَمْ أَكْفُرُ. This is from the favor of my Lord to test me, underline that, to test me, whether I will be grateful or ungrateful. So that's sign number one. They interpret every experience of life, both the happy ones and the miserable ones, as tests. Number two, they are fully aware that the greatest guarantor of blessings is shukr, gratitude. They are grateful people. As far as they are concerned, the equation is so simple. The greater the gratitude, the greater their preservation of the blessing. And the more of it will be reaped. Wherever they look and whatever they experience, they see shukr, gratitude. And in the dawn of every blessing that renews itself in their lives, this blessed category of people, they thank Allah. When they see their children running around playfully and healthily, or when their wives call them in saying, hurry, the food is getting cold, or when he or she cleans himself, herself after using the bathroom in an independent, dignified fashion without needing help from anyone, when he puts food into his mouth without the need of pipes and needles, their hearts are quick to submit in sincere gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they repeat the words of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. At every juncture of their life, they say, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min zawali ni'matik, wa tahawuli afiyatik, wa fujaati niqmatik, wa jami'i sakhatik. Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from the decline of your blessings, and the removal of your safety, and the sudden onset of your punishment, and from all of that which displeases you. That's sign number two of this blessed category. Everything brings about shukr, gratitude in their lives. Sign number three, they recognize that their good deeds today are stored for them for the rainy days to come. The Quran has given us two examples of people who experienced a calamity by way of the sea. The first of them is the Pharaoh of Egypt. And the second one is the Prophet Yunus alayhi salam. Both suffered in similar ways. Both begged from the same God for help. But their outcomes were polar opposite. One of them was drowned to his death. The other one was saved. And the reason for this is simple. During times of ease, they were two very different people. The Pharaoh appealed to Allah for help when he was drowning. His appeal was rejected. And Allah said to him, now, when you had disobeyed before and you were of the corrupters. On the other hand, Prophet Yunus, when he made his dua was answered and he was told, وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, thus we save the believers. So the key word here is before. Before his ordeal, the Pharaoh was a corrupt man, and so he was forsaken during his hour of need. As for Prophet Yunus alayhi salatu wasalam, he was before his ordeal, a righteous man, so he was saved during his hour of need. And that is what Allah said about Prophet Yunus. فَلَوْلَا أَنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الْمُسَبِّحِينَ لَلَبِثَ فِي بَطْنِهِ إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. Had he not been of those who glorified Allah, he would have remained inside of the belly of the whale until the day of resurrection. The key word is before. One of those who glorified Allah before. And commenting on this, Qatada, he said, كَانَ كَثِيرَ الصَّلَاةِ فِي الرَّخَاءِ فَنَجَّاهُ اللَّهُ بِذَلِكَ. Prophet Yunus would pray abundantly during times of ease, and so Allah saved him through that. Allah saved him through that. And he said that كان يقال في الحكمة إن العمل الصالح يرفع صاحبه إذا ما عثر فإذا صرع وجد متكئا. It used to be said, good deeds carry a person when he slips, but should he fall, he will find something to lean on. Ya Allah. So in summary, putting this all together, this fourth category of people never make calamities the beginning of their relationship with Allah. Punctual salah and repentance. No. They lead lives of hard work, patience, gratitude, steadfastness, repentance, around the clock, across borders. And they're inspired by the guidance of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who said, تعرف إلى الله في الرخاء يعرفك في الشدة. Know Allah during times of ease, and Allah will know you during your times of hardship. Let us take a quick summary of everything we've covered in this brief recording. We said that broadly speaking, there are four distinct categories of people when it comes to ease and hardship and how people react. Which of the four do you fit in? We said the first category were those who turn to Allah during times of ease, then they ignore Him during times of difficulty. We said category number two, those who turn to Allah during times of difficulty, but during times of ease, they ignore their Lord. The opposite of the first. Then we said category number three, those who ignore Allah both during times of ease and hardship. And we said this is the worst of all humanity, worst of the three categories. And then the fourth category, who are the finest of the four, those who turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during both times of ease and difficulty. And then we said that this category of people have three distinct characteristics. From the many, of course. Number one, we said they interpret the experience of life, both happy and miserable ones, as tests. Number two, they are aware that the best guarantor of blessings is gratitude. They are grateful people. And number three, they recognize that their good deeds today are stored for them for the rainy days to come.
Have you ever wished that there was a Muslim version of YouTube or Netflix? Well, we have created one. The One Islam TV app has no adverts and is safe to browse for your peace of mind. Watch hundreds of high-quality produced Islamic reminders, Quran videos, stories of the prophets, hot topic, debates, and so much more. 4 to 8 new videos are uploaded daily, inshallah. You can watch or listen to videos while your device is switched off. Watch videos on demand or download videos and watch offline. One Islam TV is 100% run and owned by Muslims, which means the small amount you pay for your subscription is a SADAQAH JARIYAH, continuous charity for you, as we use the funds raised to continue producing more beneficial videos and reminders, inshallah. The One Islam TV app is now available on Apple devices, Apple TV, Android devices, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku, so you can watch on most devices and smart TVs. Download now for a free 7-day trial. May Allah reward you for supporting our work.